Hey everybody, it's the most intellectually stimulating dungeon master on the internet. I'm DM Andy, and today I'm going to build roads and game mats cheaper than anybody else on the web. If you've been following my videos at all, you know a few days ago I went out and bought 2 pieces of foam core. I'm going to take the 4 sheets off that foam core and use those to make game mats and roads for my Gaslands games. So first, I just put on a small amount of glue. You can do this with Elmer's or spray adhesive, because I just happen to have some spray adhesive to make this. So I sprinkled on sand, a little bit heavy in certain areas, really light in other areas. And then I went straight to dumping Mod Podge and black paint. I spread it all over this and made it the entire sheet like a sheet of Mod Podge. I used the largest paintbrush I had available to me. I've also done this before and used a roller. You can roll this Mod Podge out, you just got to make a lot of it. You know, I found it actually quite satisfying to finish one of these and how the corner closes in black. It's just so soothing to the brain. A blank canvas. So from there, there's really only 2 steps. Paint 3 of them brown and 1 of them gray. I used a dark gray and a light gray like I've used in all my other videos. Just stippled it on. And for these ones, I used like a chestnut and just dumped as much paint on there as I could with a sponge over and over and over till it looked like ground. Like, that's all you're really trying to achieve here, is make a dull mat for your models and your gaming pieces to play on. So here comes the fun part. I'm gonna pull the corner up as best I can. Once I got my finger underneath, I got my hand underneath, and then I just stick my arm in it like it's an envelope and try to get the inside released first. Just be really careful when you're tearing it away from the edge. The Mod Podge can be a little tough, but that's what you want because you're going to use it as a game mat. From here, there's any number of other things you can do to add grass or flocking, more rocks, but I'm trying to keep this cheap and simple and just step by step, and you can take it from there. And there you have the first part. That's a nice 20 by 30 game mat to play on. Now take the 1 sheet that's left that you painted gray, or a dark gray to look like asphalt. Just take a straight edge and cut those. I measured mine out to be 6 inches so I could get 3 out of each sheet. Here, just try to use a nice sharp blade and a cutting surface you don't mind damaging. Peel these 3 strips off the foam and you've got 3 sections of road, 6 inches by 30 inches. I want these 3 sections of road to look like a state highway, something that isn't used a whole lot. So I'm going to measure 1 inch from the top and bottom on both sides, and those are going to be where my highway lines are on the side of the road. I'm going to take some really cheap masking tape, and I'm going to use my marks to put the first piece on. From here, I'm just going to start eyeballing it. I'm going to take a piece of tape, and I'm going to try to make it the width of the line I want it to be, all the way down the roadside. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to mark with my first piece of tape from each mark I made, and then I'm going to tape on a road line underneath that, just eyeballing it to make it look like the top one. From here, I put layered masking tape, making the inside portion covered till I got down to the dotted road marker. And once I had that, the width I wanted it, I took little pieces of tape and I taped off everywhere where I didn't want the paint to show. I'm going to take this outside after I get it all finished up, and I'm going to use a white paint to spray those lines and those dotted lines down the center of the road. If you don't have any white spray paint, right here when you get done, you could just take a sponge and some white acrylic paint and do the same thing. Just sponge down your line and sponge down your center dotted line. Just a quick check to make sure the tape's down. Quick check to make sure the paint can's working, and then I just go down my lines. I try to be uneven with the amount of paint I'm using so it looks faded in some areas. This is going to turn out real nice, I promise. This is probably going to be your favorite part of this whole project. This is where the magic happens. I'm even going to pull away the outside lines first so that you really don't see until you grab this big centerpiece and start pulling it away. Make sure every 6 inches or so you use your fingers to hold the road down while you pull the tape away. And there it is, guys. An awesome, really, really cheap set of game mats and roads for your post-apocalyptic war games. I'm your favorite Dungeon Master, DM Andy, and I'm thanking you for sticking around in this much slower, much less entertaining video. I appreciate all the love and support. I've almost got 1,000 views, so you guys keep it up. Tell your friends about me. Thanks a lot.